Good evening, everybody. It is 9 o'clock Tuesday evening. Welcome to the 2 Count. Comedy meets wrestling right here. I'm John Russell. I'm a comedian. That's Dave Cherini. He's a wrestling broadcaster. And gosh, just happy to see you, buddy.
Going.
Want to say first of all, a couple things before we get too far into this. Happy birthday to you, my friend.
Hey,
it is your birthday today.
It sure is. It is.
And
it's nice that my birthday is always on Memorial Day weekend.
It is. It kind of gives you a 4-day weekend, huh?
Yeah, always. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. So, folks, if you'd like to say happy birthday to Ace, please go ahead, pop it up in the comments, and we'll pop it up and interrupt him all night long. Hopefully, we'll have Brad Wiliams with us shortly. We've planned to have him. Before we start, if you live in Minnesota, it's a very rough day. And I don't want to be political. I don't want to rile up anything, and I don't want this to be a topic, but I want you to know that on behalf of Ace and myself, we wish sincere condolences to the family of George Floyd and anyone who knew him. Terrible tragedy. And, we can only hope for better. So.
Yeah. Very sad story to come out and made national headlines today. So, it's just another reason why I do remember everybody should work together and, live in harmony. That's what it's all about. So,
absolutely.
Thoughts and prayers to the victim's family and hopefully everything that needs to happen will happen for them. But yeah, a sad day, but also another, it's a weekend to remember too, and to keep those people in your thoughts that also, fought for, the freedoms and from Day and stuff like that. So, do that as well with the victim from that senseless act today as well.
Absolutely. All right. There's some birthday wishes for you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're glad to be here. So it is the all-new 2 Count. It took us a bit longer to come up with the brand new name, but we've done it. And we have Brad Wiliams coming through during the show tonight. So keep hanging out with us, and he'll be joining us soon. And it's a new beginning.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's pretty much exactly 1 year.
Is it really?
Pretty close.
Dang.
I was looking at all the files and everything that we did, and we were the Mass Comedian Xcast for approximately 1 year, because it was just around this time, just around WrestleMania time, that we started it. So just a little bit. There's Nick. Thanks for looking at Nick. So one of the reasons that we decided to change this, for those of you that are curious, is because clearly my face needed to be uncovered. But one of the things that we were thinking is, as we've been progressing, and I've been, during the pandemic, I've been interviewing comics on another page, on the Goonies Comedy Club page. I've got about 40 of those interviews that I've done. And we just thought, well, why would we not use the fact that other people have been watching the show to help promote this show? In meantime, Dave, who also does a show with Wes Briscoe, who many of you know if you're wrestling fans, has started to do a few more shows with Wes and have some more high-profile guests on that show. And so, again, why not? If we're going to do things, let's rebrand it. Let's start from scratch, with a couple of exceptions, and let's do it. So, to be honest with you, I am so happy to not have that mask on.
You're right. Yeah, that was.
Oh my God.
Well, and the other thing too is, we're not going to lie. You have a rather large head,
huge head.
and those masks generally are unisex and all sizes fit. Not your case. It wasn't working that way.
I mean, they worked okay. Here's the thing: it worked okay, but it became, by the time we were done, I was so hot and sweating under there that it's just like, I got to get it off, because you know what? Let's be honest. Sometimes you and I go a little bit longer than we need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of uncomfortable. And then, we're for those of you that are going to go on the Jericho cruise this year, I didn't get to go the first 2 years just because of many different reasons, but so we're going to go this year. And Ace is like, you got to wear that mask. I'm like, the hell I do.
I know, right?
So we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that at all.
And that was our initial thought too, as far as when we would go to shows, even back home.
Yeah, it was going to be our gimmick.
And we went to what was it, TLC? We did go to TLC, and are you gonna? And also we went to the first wrestling, brew at the Brew Baja, or I can't remember.
Bauhaus Brewery.
That place. And both times it's like, are you gonna wear it? And it kind of came down to decision time. But yeah, it just
it was August. I didn't want to wear it. And here's the thing. Can you imagine me having little stripes of I still might wear it, but I'm still thinking. It would be terrible. I'm still thinking though, I want to go on that cruise, and I want to get somebody to make me a getup, and then I'm going to get a headband, and I'm going to be not a young buck. I'm going to be an old buck.
Yes,
because I got the hair. I don't know if I never bring it out. And it's like you couldn't see it, but it's short now, but it's very young buckish. I'll tell you that much. So anyway, that's the reason that we did that. I hope that some of you watched Double or Nothing this weekend. I loved it. How about you?
It was amazing. I mean, the thing is, it was nice to have that. First of all, the matches were great. That card was pretty solid, top to bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was a good show. And the main event with the Stadium Stampede. We were talking while it was happening. I was texting you.
Oh yeah.
And it was interesting because it was like, dude, it was pre-filmed. We all knew that. And that's fine, but the thought is, how pre-filmed is this? Are we going to start seeing like the cinematic stuff like we are seeing with WWE happen? And it was not the case. It was just more of it was definitely amazing, and it seemed like a real match. Those stuff with the Boneyard match and Money in the Bank and all that was fun. It was cool, but it kind of also, again, it was what it was, and they were able to kind of do a little bit different things because of being so cinematic and having the editing and all that, where this was still just a match and a fight. And it was amazing.
It was so much fun. So much fun. And there were so many great matches. I want to say one of my favorite matches was I could not believe that Sheeta beat Nyla Rose. I couldn't believe that. I was not expecting that at all. So that was a huge bonus for me. I mean, I was actually just like, oh my gosh, that is so great. And I thought all the other matches were fantastic. We also talked. Did anybody else crap their pants when Brian Cage came out?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I mean, because that was another one where I was just like, you hear the rumors, and until it happens. Here's another one that I was sort of like, I was surprised. Oh my gosh, absolutely. It was, and that's, I think that's the thing that they do is it's really, really very unpredictable, and I think that's one of the reasons that it's fun, but it's also just fun, but the other thing was we never saw the Revolt or FTR or whatever they're going to be called. We never saw them, and everybody thought we were going to.
I kind of enjoyed the fact that because everybody, I included, I really thought at least the Revolt, whatever they're going by now, was going to make an appearance, maybe. And I kind of thought that maybe they were going to do something different than Cage for that entry. I thought for sure that maybe they were going to bring a WWE guy in with all those layoffs and a lot of people's non-compete starting to end now. Like, I was like, man, maybe one of them had a shorter one or something, or ended at this time and it would work out. I felt like Heath Slater for some reason had some tweets that seemed to kind of go with some of the things they were saying, but it didn't work out. Instead, it was Brian Cage, which is a huge get.
Oh my God.
I mean, that guy was killing it on Impact. Unfortunately, it got sidelined by an injury. Back and ready to go now. I like that he's with Taz as well. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's going to be very interesting. I think.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I was going to say I was going to move to a different thing, but you go ahead.
Well, and it's now been announced too for Fyter Fest. It will be Cage versus Moxley.
Oh my God,
is what I saw.
See, here's the thing: they don't seem to wait on this stuff. You know, I mean, here comes Brody Lee. Let's give a little bit. Let's have him and Mox have a match. And I got to be honest with you, I'm surprised that the Dark Order did not interfere in that match.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I really was shocked.
I was kind of thinking we maybe see the Evo Uno and the other guy make their comeback since we had for a while, which didn't happen. But it was. For me though, I felt like it was kind of weird the order that all went. As far as like, I didn't think it was time for Moxley and Brody. Like, I kind of felt like there was still steam left with the Inner Circle and Jericho, especially with him taking Jericho's title. Like, why aren't we getting a vengeful Le Champion coming back for that title? Like, why are we waiting for it? I would figure that would have been the plan right after. But I mean, it made Brody Lee look good. I don't. Okay. All right. Yeah. And so I don't know. The whole Dark Order and Brody Lee right now just is a huge question mark for me. Because to me, it seems like they're kind of hurting the buildup they put into building the Dark Order. Because the other thing, too, is I feel like it's lost sight of the Dark Order. Now it's just Brody Lee, where that's a faction. That's a whole thing. And it's Brody Lee. I mean, there's a way to do it and make it that faction and still make him the leader. You've seen it in every other faction that's ever happened. So I don't know why it's not. I really don't get it.
Yeah. Check your email.
It's a shame. It's a shame that they're just again, it seems like they've given up because of the whole Brody Lee coming.
Yeah. Anyway, check your email. Check your email. Are you checking your email?
Oh, it's on.
All right.
I
just want to hear it. No, go ahead.
What did you think of Tyson down there?
Man, to me, that was a waste. It was a joke and a waste. And I feel like the whole reason that Mike Tyson was there was to do a little knife jab to Vince. I feel like that's the only reason he was there, because it was comical. You know, clearly all the camera, every time they tried to take a camera shot of him, he was either laughing at the wrong stuff or not paying attention or yawning. The yawn was great. And then, you know, the whole thing about chasing Jake out. Come on, you know.
I kind of wish they would have waited till he was at least in ring and about to take the snake out.
Yeah.
Before they did that. Now, what's interesting is I had talked with Wes and I did a show
exactly
Thursday before going into that.
Yeah.
Weekend, and we talked about Tyson being involved, and it was funny because Wes thought for sure he was going to get involved.
Yeah.
Wes was like, you'd be stupid not to have him involved and book him. And Wes thought he was going to book a match. He thought they would use him for a match. He was like,
wow.
Surprised if they end up booking him for like the next pay-per-view and he does a match. His thought was that they would have him go heel on Cody though.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, it kind of seemed like it kind of seemed like he was cheering for Archer. And then he cheered for you. I mean, it's just like he was just there.
Well, then that's just it. Like that's like like you said, they caught him at the wrong times.
Oh,
and then he was way too happy to kick Arn Anderson out if he was cheering for Cody. Just way too happy for that one. Like, come on, bro. Like, if you're cheering for Cody, you got to be like,
Every single time that they put a camera on him, it was the wrong time.
I'll
But anyway,
I'll tell you what though, the guy is jacked.
oh yeah, he's not much younger than me.
Like I would put money on he could still go.
Oh yeah, actually, he might be older than me.
And I want to say I thought I heard he was actually offered a contract for like a bare knuckle fighting league. I'm not 100% sure what the contract was, if it was actually for fighting. But could you imagine that if Tyson came back at whatever age he is right now, bare knuckle fighting people and just knocking them out too? Because he would. The guy's, you see those training videos of him, man. That guy still has that punch.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
It's not something you lose. I mean, comparatively. I wanted to also mention something else, and I wonder what everybody else thinks. Because I noticed this last night. We talked a little bit about Brody Lee in that mock smash. I'm starting to see startling similarities between Brody Lee and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. No,
the hair is the same.
Yeah.
The cult leader business is the same. And I'm wondering if this is Vince's retort to the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Man, it would be funny if that is it, because like that just means he really took those promos personal. Like,
oh yeah,
why are they talking about how I don't like them sneezing? What the hell? Like, it's just
that's like a low blow.
It's like, give it up, bro. Like, first of all, you got bigger things to worry about with your company.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
And the other thing too is by doing that shit, you're making Seth Rollins even harder to tolerate. Which is, again, he needs to go away.
Yeah.
Just 3 months off, man. Just give him 3 months. Like,
give him a rest.
We fast forward to her having the baby now, so he goes away and plays dad for a month or two.
Yeah.
He's just nothing to discredit the talent of Seth Rollins.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. He's just been the main focal piece since he cashed in at 31.
Yeah.
We just had 36. So for the last 5 years, this guy has been somehow involved in the main event and in that title picture and the face of the company. And now it's like they've done everything they can do for him. He needs to just not be up there right now. He would just benefit from a month off, even just a month to go away, let people not see him for a few weeks, come back and do something different. Because that's the other thing too. What he's doing isn't working. It just like seems like such a cheap ripoff of so many other gimmicks that are very much better at basically what he's trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, it could come down to a Jesus robe. It'd be better than what he's doing now.
Right. Which they'll never, which is so weird. They won't do that. Like, they were hesitant with CM Punk doing the stuff, yet Vince McMahon wrestled Jesus.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 falls.
It's so crazy.
So for those of you that are just tuning in and expecting us to be talking with Brad Wiliams right now, we're currently waiting for Brad to join us. We haven't heard that he will not be, although that doesn't mean he may or may not be having technical problems. We'll let Ace take care of it because he's the guy that booked him. And so if it goes wrong, blame Ace. Even though it's his birthday. By the way, it's Ace's birthday. So good for you.
I'm old. I am.
How old are you?
38.
38 years old. Mm-hmm. You don't seem that old.
Really?
No, but I don't feel like I'm as old as I am either.
Because I really do feel it.
Because you and I have known each other for 15 years, right?
Yeah, man.
I was still older than you when we met, but you were probably 14. I don't know. How you started working at the.
I was definitely I was 20. It was 24. 24 to 25 when I started working at the state radio station when I met you.
Yeah.
And now 30, yeah. So yeah.
Oh, anyway.
It's so for me, it's so depressing getting closer to 40. I don't know why, but I've also kind of just not. I don't care. Like I'm not. See, first of all, again, my birthday's on Memorial Day weekend, so the trend has always been not a lot of my friends are ever around. Most of them go for that weekend. Whatever, it's cool. But it's just always been part of that it's like I just kind of hang out with family, we grill out, and then like really ever since I turned like 30, I've not really made a big deal. Like it's always just either a little cookout with some friends and family, or I don't do anything. There's been years where I just stay home.
Yeah.
Talk to nobody.
Well, you get to a certain age, man, you don't do anything for your birthday.
Birthdays just aren't that great anymore. Like I'd rather go celebrate someone else's birthday. Like I don't care for mine anymore. It's just every day.
You get to be my age, you start thinking, oh man, how long till I can get Social Security? And when I get to 5 years away, I'm going to start a countdown clock on the webpage, and you guys can all come and see the day that I retire. But I won't fully retire, but I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. It's not that far off. It's not 5 years, but it's not that far off either.
Yeah. I mean, the aging process is just never fun. Like just the whole, it just sucks to get old, but it made me think about though, like, man, I remember like my 21st birthday and being like, yes, this is it. The world is my oyster. It's going to be so crazy. And then you end that night like wrapped up around a toilet in the floor of rookies on their nasty bathroom floor, puking, probably pants around my ankles because I probably couldn't even get to the toilet to like piss.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and you remember that joint? Wasn't exactly last season.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, the world. I'm finally an adult and all this. And then now I'm 38 and I'm just like, oh my God, how did I do that? I was such a dumb kid back then.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know,
well, it's birthdays can be fun. They can be trouble. They can be scary. They can be a lot of things.
You know what was fun for me though is for my birthday weekend is basically making my family, since we were all together, watch Double or Nothing with me.
Oh, nice.
Well, some of them, and you know, not all of them watch wrestling, so you know, it's. I mean, I did feel bad though that the majority of my family was like out in the garage laughing, having a good time, socializing, and I'm just like, nah, man. From 7 to whenever this ends, don't bother me. And if you're going to bother me, you're coming to the back room where I'm watching this.
But don't you want some cake, Dave?
I don't give a shit about the cake. Oh, no cake. You bring it down. Like, bring it here. I will eat it if you deliver it. But like I've been here all day. I warned everybody. I gave everybody a fair warning like 2 days beforehand. Like, I'm all good, but as soon as 7 o'clock hits, like just leave me alone. Like I'm going, and don't come if you're going to come down and like socialize and be loud with each other just so you can be in the same room with me. No, don't. I don't care. I don't want to be by you. Just stay outside. Like I want to be able to hear and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was fun. That was the bummer, man. That's the bummer about this whole pandemic thing, is because I originally was hoping to be in Las Vegas this weekend for Double or Nothing. That was my hope. And I was going to try to make that happen. And then, you know, all this pandemic stuff happened. I just, it was like, okay, I'm not even, who knows what's going to happen, you know, because the end of March. And I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of May. It's a little bit of times away.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's like, oh, that sucks. And it makes you wonder too, because I seen them promote for All Out in September. Well, at least where I'm at in Minnesota, we're shut down as far as for any large gatherings till the end of August. So it's like, man, and I guess I don't know, is Illinois up and going?
I saw some video from Illinois over the weekend where people were just ignoring the orders and recommendations, and they're just doing stuff. Also, many people have seen that down in Lake of the Ozarks. People are just hanging around and like, whatever. I don't know. It's a difficult thing. I don't want to get into politics because I know everybody here's what I do know. Nobody wants to do the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants people to get sick and die. I know that. The biggest problem is there's no set rules for any one place. And so if Montana opens up, because there's not anybody living in Montana, well, very, very few people, and they get to do it. Why don't we get to do it? They can do it. Nobody's getting sick and dying there. It's because there's less people. But anyway, there you go.
Oh, hey, thanks, guys. Hope you made it home safe. That was actually my cousin who was just here all weekend.
Is he one you made watch with you?
He watched some of it. He didn't mind it, but then back out to the garage.
Well, yeah.
Which is fine. I don't ever expect anybody to. My old man watched it, which I haven't watched wrestling with my old man since I was like a little kid. And that's interesting because the first thing out of his mouth was, "These don't look like the wrestlers I used to watch. These guys are tiny. What's up with that?" I'm just like, well, yeah, it's not the 80s anymore, Father. Things have changed.
And most of them don't like to take the steroids.
Yeah, like they're a bit cleaner nowadays, Dad. Same thing. He falls for it every time. Like as soon as if someone jumps off the rope and the bad guy rolls out of the way, he'll just idiot. He put it on. He waited forever, and it's just like, oh, you're great. You are great. But now he can't hear either, and he refuses. He just doesn't ever wear his hearing aids. So I mean, now he'll say something, and we have to like yell at him for him to hear it, and it's just. Oh, but it was funny because he was involved. Oh, thanks, Corey and Preston. Thanks. Can't wait to see you guys. Since you didn't come up, we'll hopefully see you guys soon. So, yeah, it was hilarious, man. Like, because to be honest, that's how it all started. Is I remember watching WrestleMania 3 with my dad and grandpa.
Huh?
That was like the thing. It was like, oh, what is this that I'm watching? This is amazing. I think
was your grandpa into it more than your dad?
No, to be honest, they both weren't even really fans. I think they just watched WrestleMania, and I remember watching it. To be real honest, it's very crazy. I know this is going to shock a lot of people when you look at me, but again, I'm actually not Irish. I know everybody thinks so, but I'm actually Italian and Mexican, which is why when someone named Juan comments on here, and I'm like, that's my cousin, y'all are probably like, what?
I know you.
Yeah, you do. You've met some of my family though, and you've met my mom. You've seen that she is a little Mexican lady.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's funny that, and I forgot where I was going with this. Actually,
that's okay. We got off on a tangent. I wonder if anybody that, here we go. She wants to sing on one of your podcasts.
All right, we'll have to make it happen.
Figure out how to do that.
Yeah,
we'll get it done. I was gonna say I watched some of Raw. It's more difficult, and it's always been difficult. We talked about this last week with Adam Daly. It's difficult to watch when there's absolutely nobody there. But this week, they added some. Basically, it looks like the whole NXT roster, but they added people to be out in the audience, and it was very interesting to me. They put up plexiglass along the runway. It looks very similar to hockey glass. And then they had people out there, but they didn't have them like all lined up. They were actually socially distanced in the area that they were in, which kind of looked weird. But the noise did give it a good atmosphere, which is something that they've been lacking ever since they started doing this. That's we've talked about this all the time. That's one thing that absolutely good to see you, and thanks. You got a sweet cousin here. Well, I don't mean it that way, but anyway, he's a good cousin. But that's one thing we talk about. AEW has taken every advantage of using talent that's not working to add atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, I've become used to it, and I accept that that's the level of noise that's going to happen. But they know what they're doing in terms of yelling stuff. I heard during Double or Nothing, I heard "This is awesome" chants.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and just to hear that made me feel so good, because it's like they did it at the right time and everything, and it's just some of the stuff they end up doing is great. Now, don't get me wrong. I still feel like a couple of the things that WWE does, they should continue to do. one of the things is have the close mics on those wrestlers,
Mhm.
because as we've talked about it, I would love to hear Bailey and the Iconics shit talking the entire match. I would love to hear it because they're both fantastic. Bailey's the best at it.
Yeah.
Bailey is so good at talking shit in the ring. I mean, my God, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it adds everything to it. You know, it doesn't have. I mean, it's just that little bit for atmosphere makes it so much better. But anyway,
it was weird to see the hockey boards or the hockey glass. Yeah. that was strange. No, it was cool. It's something to me though. Like, I don't know. I guess like you said, I enjoy it more when AEW is doing it. I think also because I feel like AEW, when they're out in the crowd like that, obviously they're just like, go out, have fun, whatever you want to say it. Where obviously with WWE, they're probably being told, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't say this, don't do this, don't look at that, don't say this, don't make that noise. You do what we say.
Obviously, wear the talent that we want to shirts. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit much.
Again, though, it's funny because I feel like that's, they feel like they need to do this to make it this professional product because we're the top dog and we're so smooth with our production and all this. So we're going to have them have these shirts on where it's like wrestling fans aren't watching to see who these people's shirts they're wearing. Yeah. They're not, like, again, WWE could have succeeded during this pandemic time as far as their shows if they would have just put on more quality matches and let the workers work. Instead, they felt the need to for a first while and air entire matches like from pay-per-views on Raw and SmackDown. Then it was just after that, it's been just heavy promos, a lot of, if you didn't watch last week, here's what you missed. Mm-hmm. And still not just, hey, you're in a pandemic time. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot you guys can do either as far as going out and producing promos and all this stuff. Just give us matches. Give us good old-fashioned wrestling matches. I mean, obviously, it's not the same, wrestling it was 20, 30 years ago, but they could still do that and still build a storyline. Just make it, because again, so many unnecessary replays. It bothers me it's why I watch Raw on DVR most of the time, so I can skip all that because it drives me nuts. I don't need. I'm a fan. Whoever's watching Raw is a fan.
I'll tell you this too. One thing, and you know how much I like Asuka. The dumbest thing was to have her come out, and the very first thing she does is start chanting "Becky, Becky, Becky." It's like, you know what? Are you? And I think are you guys that insecure that you think people are going to forget her? That you have to keep bringing her name up, and are they going to bring her name up every goddamn show?
Right. Well, and and again, I mean, it definitely sounds like she's about to retire now because she's going to be a mom. So if that's the case, I get it. But yeah, again, it's just.
But is she going to retire for good? I mean, there are many women wrestlers who have had families and come back and wrestled. This is not an oddity.
No, most definitely. But you never know with this new talent. A lot of them might be like, hey, I want to get in, get out. Once I'm out, I'm out. And that, oh God,
that's an excellent point.
Yes, poor Charlotte. First of all, they're working her to death during this pandemic. I mean, you can't imagine she wants. I mean, maybe she's enjoying this, but I can't imagine she's like, yeah, I want to be on every show all week. But again, we talked about this last week. It just belittles the NXT title right now by having her involved with Raw and SmackDown still. Yeah. Like, you're taking prestige away from that NXT title. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. It's really, really rough dealing with that. I don't get it. Just anybody joining us in. Again, Brad Wiliams, comedian, supposed to be on with us, joining us. So hopefully nothing's going wrong on his end or anything. We've emailed, again, we've confirmed and everything, but sent some emails with his links and stuff to join in, and he hasn't. So hopefully he'll join in before we're done. If not, we'll get to the bottom and he'll be back. But
Now, to be fair,
more than anything, I just hope nothing's wrong.
Right. And to be fair, he has a pretty fresh little baby, and sometimes a little baby can do things that make you not be able to do things.
Yeah. Your life is now in their hands, and we completely understand that. So anybody who's tuning in and wondering, that's what's going on. And if Brad hops on, we're going to get him in here, and if not, we'll just get that rescheduled.
Just to be absolutely, and just to be sure, you told him 9 o'clock Central Time, right? Not 9 o'clock Pacific Time.
No, he booked the time.
Okay, perfect. But that's fine. I'm just asking.
And that's why I say hopefully everything's okay on his end and there's nothing going on that's preventing him not be on right now and anything bad. So, but again, and busy man, and like you said, newborn. So if anything, and he doesn't make it on tonight, we'll definitely I'll reach out and figure out that everything's okay and that he's cool, and we'll get it rescheduled.
Cool.
I don't see him being a dick and be like, screw you guys.
No, absolutely not.
I've been in contact all week, so that's why I'm more than
absolutely.
Anything, I'm hoping he's just okay.
Absolutely.
Nothing now bad going on their end there.
Yeah. So now while we're
explanation. So, and again, hopefully he'll hop on. We'll get him on.
Yeah. I was gonna say this now, and I don't know what you were gonna bring up, and I don't care because it's all about me right now.
Hell yeah.
So here's the thing.
My birthday.
I know. Well, I know. But look, I know there are some people that have been on the Jericho Cruise and are part of the Jericho Cruise group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I think they let me in because I bought a ticket for this next one.
Group on Facebook. Yeah. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think I got added, but I don't know. Anyway, the point is that what I want to find out is, first of all, obviously I've seen it. I've heard from you how much fun it is, and I can't wait to go. Is there anybody out there that's nervous that it might not happen?
That's a good question. You and I had talked as soon as they made the announcement that as of now it's not getting moved, and then they actually went ahead with the bookings and everything.
Yeah.
Which it is what it is, and we booked. We booked as soon as we could. The minute my booking time was available, me, you, and my nephew booked our room with no hesitation. Because in my mind, if it happens in February, which hopefully it does, the other thing too is this stuff's not going anywhere. We're going to be dealing with this, and we will have to learn how to kind of live with this going on until these cures or vaccinations are around. So again, if they're willing to do it, and I'm sure all precautions will be taken care of to take care of us. And also it comes down to the people who are going. If you've booked and a week out, you end up feeling sick and we're about to go, you got to bite the bullet and let them know, like, don't come, don't risk. That's the biggest thing. All the people who are coming on this triple whammy, if it goes down in February, if you don't feel good, don't come.
Yeah. And see here, Dave's a little nervous about it. And I mean, I understand it too. Because you and I've talked about this. I'm in that target. Like, if I get it, I'm gonna have problems. I know that. Yet I still want to go. And when you book real early and you get the janitor's suite, you can't give it up. Oh, big cruise announcement tomorrow at 1. My gosh.
Ooh, exciting. I didn't hear that. So
we'll have to look forward to seeing that. And I got to tell you too. So those of you that are watching, the platform Dave and I are using to do this show is called StreamYard. And if you've been watching Jericho's Saturday night specials, he uses the same stuff. Now, it's not because of us, I don't think. Probably it is. He's probably seen and said, my gosh, those guys really look sharp. But he's been using the same business, although most of the time he's using this shot. But he does the same stuff, and he'll be like, when we've got multiple people in here, we'll stack them and crack them, and we can get up to 6 on here, and he can do the overlays, but he seems to not choose to do the overlays. But that's because, he's Chris Jericho, and he's just like, I want to go online. I want it to look good. Let's do this. I think a lot of people that use this do it because Facebook took away the ask somebody to join you option on their live deal. And apparently they brought it back, but I don't know. So
they had changed it so you can have guests if you went live.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. But I heard it's not working great. You know, I don't know. I mean, they got this new group business in there too. And I had somebody invite me to their group so we could do his live thing. And I went there, and me and two other guys, and we were able to talk to each other, but he never showed up. So there's some things there too. I'm wondering other things about the Jericho Cruise though too, because I'm going to this kind of like a little sheep, in that I whatever Dave tells me I believe, and so I'm wondering, like, do I need to have? Oh, by the way, if you booked, you got free drinks, right?
Oh yeah, you got to pay your gratuity, the 20% gratuity each day. But I mean, it's like $100 a day for the drink package, the unlimited, like everything. Yeah. So I mean, gladly will pay the gratuity if I don't have to pay the $100 a day. You know what I mean? To the point that even I know you're not a big drinker, my nephew's not a big drinker. Like, I'll pay your guys' gratuity if it just means we all have it, because we all have to have it in the same cabin.
But we all get it for free, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, we don't. You don't pay the $100. Instead, we just pay that 20% gratuity each day.
Oh, okay.
The tips.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Ooh, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get free drinks if you book before the end of August. Holy cow.
Yeah. So what, $60 a person each is what you'll pay
for the whole day, for the whole trip?
For the whole trip for drink package.
$60 is nothing. I'd give that to a guy for carrying my bags.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to, it was like over $400 per person for the drink package.
Jumping catfish.
I believe. I could be wrong, but
it's a good deal. See, here's the thing. If I was a drinker, I would say, "Oh my God, I got that for free, dude." I was looking at the. Yeah. I mean, what a deal, and that's a nice thing, because that's to reward people for booking. Makes perfect sense to me. Those people are smart. Even though I haven't been on that cruise, I can tell you that those people are smart, because they know how to keep customer loyalty. You know?
I mean, Norwegian as the cruise line, and I've never had a bad experience. I know some people have, but I've always enjoyed it. And Six Man is who puts on this cruise, who works with they're going to put it on, and they do a great job. I've good with them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard that Norwegian is one of the better cruise lines. Period.
Yeah, it's got a very relaxed, chill feel. A lot of cruises, it's like a lot of, your dinners are scheduled, things are, this time, that, whatever. You can't I don't know. It's you're gonna have a good time. It's also different though, because again, it's a specialty event cruise. It's not like a regular cruise. So I mean, it's gonna be fun. My only thing is, I'm curious about the weather, because we went mid-January. It was kind of crappy. It was just bad weather too, but it was a little colder. I really enjoyed when we went, and it was like Halloween. That weather seemed to be really great. It was nice in Nassau when we were there this time, though, still. But there was definitely one day where nobody was hanging out outside, because it was a crap day while we were on the sea. Yeah. Like 45 degrees out, windy, rainy, just not awesome.
Sounds fun.
No, it wasn't great, but that's the nice thing about that cruise, though, is there's so much stuff going on inside. I mean, there was podcasts, there was music, there was comedy, there was, movies, show, I mean, everything, so even with that, it wasn't like we were sitting around bored, like, oh, I wish there was more shows going. Like, everything still happened. They just maybe had to move some stuff around, but that's my question though, is if it gets moved back, I wonder when they would try to schedule it for, being that it's February, Well,
I know hurricane time is in the fall. So, the reason I know that is because 1,000 years ago when I got married, we went on a cruise for our honeymoon, and we were between hurricanes.
Ooh.
So the week before, and this is another thing. This would not really affect the Jericho cruise, I wouldn't think. The week before, there was a hurricane, and they were they weren't going to go out. It wasn't coming to Miami, so they were able to. They had the option: you can either stay on the boat or go home. And you get all the benefits of staying on the boat. You get the food, you get the chow, you get all that stuff. But and then the next one, they didn't go out, and they got, I don't know if they put them up in a hotel or what the hell they did, but it was the same thing. It's like, we're not giving your money back, but we're going to do this. So I know it can happen. That's why they tell you to get trip insurance, particularly on a cruise, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. That's the main reason I booked for this one. The main reason I was like, I will do it, is because I knew regardless of what's going on, even if they got pushed back, I was going to still go. So in my mind, it's like, well, book it. If it happens, I go. If it doesn't and they push it back to a later date, I would anyways be like, well, just carry the money because I'm going to still go. My biggest thing when they were finally taking bookings is I had to make sure that it was clear that if it were to be, canceled or anything due to the pandemic, that we would get the money back, full refund, without the travel insurance.
Right.
So if like February comes, obviously the stuff hasn't settled down, they cancel it, and there's no certain date that they can reschedule it. They just cancel it for that time being. I wanted to know that I was getting my money back without that travel insurance. I was able to find out that that's the deal. If it's due to the pandemic, full refund, don't need the travel insurance. So I was like, well, screw it, I'm in then. Because again, I plan on going no matter when it happens. I'm going to go. So which is so funny because on the cruise last year, like I had all intention of being like, I'm not coming back after this year. I'm going to just do this one. No more. I'm going to use that money for some different trips or something. And then, you have fun. And then it's like, oh, I got to come back next year.
There you go.
And now we are.
I was gonna ask too. So you're going to the Bahamas. Do you need to have a passport?
As far as I know, no. You need birth certificate and ID, I think is what it is.
Oh.
Like not a copy. I don't know if it's a copy or you have to have the actual. I don't know.
But if I bring my birth certificate and it falls overboard, then I'm screwed.
Yeah, you are. Or if you want to buy a passport but you don't want to pay for the whole book, for cruise travel to where we're going, you can just buy the passport card.
Oh,
that would work as well.
I don't know. I figure once I leave the country, I might start going all over.
That's my thing, man. I mean, I had to get it a few years back when I had to go work out in the UK. So I was like, I'm getting it, and I'm gonna hopefully use it more. And I have not left the country since then, except for I haven't. Sorry. But yeah, man, dude. I mean,
because we're supposed to get them anyway, and they pushed it back.
What's cool with that though is like if you get the passport card too, that works domestically on airlines too. So like us here in Minnesota, starting I think next year, if you don't have the real,
they pushed it back.
I knew they pushed it back. So I think it's starting next year. If you don't have the real ID, you need your passport, and they will take the card. You don't have to have the book if you're flying domestic. Because that's usually what I use when I go through now. Just in case, because there's been the last few times I've flown, I'm like, I don't remember. Do I need that ID now? And now I've gotten my license renewed, and I didn't get the real ID, so I've got probably 4 or 5 more years before I'm gonna have to get it probably. But my passport's good enough through then, so I can just use that passport card. So
there you go.
But yeah, man, comfy shoes.
Yeah,
comfy shoes. A lot of standing.
I'll be doing a lot of sitting, regardless.
Yeah,
and I'll sit down somewhere in a deck chair and hope that Jericho walks by me. And then I can say, dude, bend down here a minute. I'm an old bastard. Let me take a shot with you.
Well, you say your picture taken. We all will get our picture taken with him as a cabin. Me, you, and my nephew. We will have a picture with Jericho.
Well, that's cool. Does he come right to the cabin? Do we have to offer him something?
That would be the funniest way to do it. Like, oh, it's time for your picture with Jericho. He's going to be at your cabin at this time. He's going to knock twice. That would be great. No, it was in one of the clubs. You just go at your designated time and they line you up and you go up, you get your like 2 seconds of a picture. But he's cool. I mean, it's cool. And the thing is with Jericho on this boat, bro, because you're kind of a night owl. Am I right?
Yeah.
like just go to the shows at night in the lobby and in the like small clubs on the boat. He goes to all the rock shows. Erica, our good friend Erica, I mean, she's got great pictures with him just rocking out at the shows. He loves going to the shows and watching the bands and jamming. So I mean,
well, he's there to have fun. Obviously he makes money at it, but he's there to have fun.
He didn't even make money the first one. He was in the hole. I think
no kidding.
He lost money because he paid for everything. Like he really put a lot of it on himself. This last time around, probably made some money. But again, too, this is their vacation too. Like his whole family's there; they're having a blast. But like he has a good time, and he's not like if you see him at one of the shows and you're having fun. Like I said, our good friend Erica. I don't know if she's still watching, but they were rocking out. And she's got pictures with him. The first time, the first year on the cruise, that first night, I was watching the AC/DC cover band, and someone's like put their arm around me, and it was Jericho. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Erica.
There it is. Jericho right there on her picture.
See, I'm not watching it. I'm watching through the software, so I don't get to see it. Can you screen share it, Dave?
Well, it's her little icon picture when you put the comments up.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me try that again.
Her little picture.
Oh my gosh! Here, let me put my glasses on.
So I can see it.
Oh my gosh, that is Chris Jericho, for God's sakes. That's a great picture. Holy crap. And you had that, did you have that on there the whole time? How did I not notice that? I can't see.
I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm blind too, so don't feel bad about that.
It's 'cause I can't see. So I'm also so proud of the new elements that of course we got some same old elements, and we'll be doing some of these as our show progresses. One thing that we really enjoyed doing, and I don't know if any of you enjoy doing this, Dave and I really liked going through old classic pay-per-views and reviewing them again, because there's a lot of stuff that happens that you kind of didn't recall, and a lot of things are a little bit different, and so we've got a nice little intro for that. Went to a lot of expense for that one, but we'll do old school reviews. I still want to do that.
Yeah, we're supposed to do All In, and we still have yet to get to All In.
At this point, I'd have to watch it again.
At this point, I would have to.
It's a bad thing.
No, not at all. I would definitely have to watch it again. I remember, I remember certain things. I remember the Marty Skrull match. I remember. Was it Hangman and Janela? I remember Jericho coming out during the Omega match as Pentagon. I remember. Who doesn't remember Joey Ryan? I remember the moments, but I had to watch it back to really that show.
There was so much good stuff.
It was a great show, and they've been really good about how after that All Out was really great. And I kind of want to go to All Out this next September if it happens. That's the other thing. It's so hard. They're announcing that, and again, like I said earlier, we're not having any events here in our areas of Minnesota till the end of August. They'll reassess if we can have group activity like that. So it's like, all right.
And here's the thing too: Chicago's more densely populated, so I'm assuming that in the governor in that state is very similar in view to the governor of Minnesota. Not quite as conservative as our governor, but conservative all the same in terms of the pandemic, not his political views. But I would assume it's going to be very, very difficult to have that show any place and say, okay, there needs to be 3 seats between you.
Well, and I just read too that as of now, the NFL is planning to go ahead with the season with fully filled stadiums. They said.
How?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they're just assuming that will happen by then. But again, like I know some places by then will. I'm sure Florida and Wisconsin by then they'll be like, yeah, do it, whatever. But I mean, like us, who knows what September is going to hold? They just called off our state fair that goes into September.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So here's the thing: in different states, the rate of people getting sick is still, it's all different. Like we just had the highest 2 days of cases and deaths here in Minnesota in the last couple of days. I don't know about today, but the last couple of days, the highest 2 out of the whole thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how this weekend goes, just as far as it being a holiday weekend, more people are out, and especially for our state here in Minnesota, because a lot of people made that trip to Wisconsin so they can party this weekend. And if these numbers go up this next week, you're gonna probably be able to attribute to a lot of that, which I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
People are gonna do what they want to do, I guess. But
I don't want this to be the case, because as I said earlier, I don't want anybody to get sick. But my biggest fear is that Wisconsin's going to get shut down again, and I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to do it, because now they won't let the governor do it, and so now there's going to. I mean, and I don't even know.
Yeah,
again.
It's going to be crazy. Like, I seen that Wisconsin Dells water parks are opening tomorrow, or some of them. It's like, what? You're going to let people on water slides and stuff? Okay. Why? But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. I know, again, if you listen to the last episode of the Briscoe and Big A show, you would have heard that Wes actually still has a show coming up finally.
Oh, wow.
In a matter of weeks, he'll have his first show back in Florida with Atomic Wrestling, which make sure you check those guys out. Atomic Revolution, I think it's Atomic Revolution Wrestling in AWR. Out of Orlando, Florida. They do an amazing job. Wes Briscoe's their champ. Man, I think they had the Crime Time was just doing shows with them right before all this stuff with Chad happened. Adam Rose had his final match with them. Leva Bates was one of their big wrestlers. Yep. Chico Adams is over there. He's an up-and-comer guy. He's done some stuff for WWE. Like, they got some really great talent, and they've got some really great experienced talent that come back. Just Incredible, Gangrel, Road Warrior Animal, like all those guys have been to these shows. So it's a great thing. Check them out. But they have their first show coming up, and I'm interested to see if there's going to be any social distancing that happens at this show. It does sound like it. They made an announcement last week saying, like, hey, we just got told by the venue we can add 20 more seats and still meet our social distancing guidelines. So I'm really interested to see the setup. I want to see how it sounds, how it looks, how it feels, because again, everything's going to be different now coming back with all these social distancing guidelines that need to be in place. Even in states that are open, they still want that happening. So it's going to be real interesting to see what it's like. I mean, I'm ready, but I'm not. Like, I'm cool with this being I'm cool with this coronavirus being a slow burn to make sure we're all okay.
I agree with you. All right, man, we're coming up on an hour. Obviously Brad's not going to be able to join us today. We'll have an update this week, and we'll let you know what's going on with that, and hopefully it's all good news. Let's end on a happy note. One of my favorite things of the week, aside from the whole thing, was the cameo appearance of Marty Scurll in Being the Elite. I just absolutely loved that too. Yeah, I didn't even see that latest episode of the Elite, but I saw that clip. Yeah, it was funny. And then at the end, when they're like, "You didn't tip," yeah, and then they go chasing him down. I told you this earlier. As far as Marty, like, I love that gimmick of him popping out of like closet doors. Yeah, he did that like a year or two ago. This was for the first cruise when they did the Bucks of Jericho versus the Elite on the very first Jericho cruise, and how they were building it up when they were in Japan, and how the Bucks were in Jericho's room, and they're like, "Oh, we could be like Y2 Jackson or the Bucks of Jericho." And then all of a sudden you see Marty's head come out of the closet, like, and then runs to Kenny and Cody, like, I heard the Bucks of Jericho. I was hanging out in Chris Jericho's closet. They're like, "You were in Chris Jericho's closet?" Yeah, you know. And then like he goes back in at the end too. That's what was even funnier. It was hilarious. So yeah, it was cool, and it gives you hope that we're gonna finally see these promotions start working together.
Even with Brian Cage making that appearance, I mean, it sounds, he's under, I'm assuming under contract with AEW now, but I mean, I was curious to see how that ended because I don't remember hearing his contract. I suppose, no, there were those rumors that they were ending and his wife quickly disputed them. But the other thing too is if he wouldn't have got hurt, he would have maybe never came. I mean, he was top of the line there at Impact. He was the champ. So I mean, it's very interesting to see. All I know is if he's with AEW, hopefully that means Brian Cage will be back on the Jericho Cruise this time around, which would be awesome because I love hanging out with Brian Cage, a good friend of the Briscoe Big 8 show. So he's a great guy. So that definitely marked out when he came out.
Yes. All righty.
And that was just after the dude. Yeah, really deserves it. I mean, because that's the other thing. That guy, he busts ass. He works hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't end up looking like that and not working hard.
No, not at all.
All right, folks. Those of you that watched tonight, thank you so much. Happy birthday again to you, Dave.
Thank
Big
you.
Ace. I hope it was enjoyable for you. I hope you had fun over the weekend.
Yeah.
Folks, next week we will be on again, depending on our schedule. We're going to shoot for 8 o'clock every Tuesday. And we will be on all these platforms. We'll be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So you can watch us on any of those. Please like us and follow us. And we appreciate that very, very much. And we'll let you know any news that comes up during the week and fill you in on anything that we can about the show or anything else that we find out about, anything like how much, pregnant swallow weighs.
Because that's pressing matter right there. I would love.
Sometimes I look up stuff on the internet and I find it out and I need to share it with somebody. Right?
This is the place to do that. And again, like we said, we had Brad Wiliams booked for the show tonight, and even yesterday we were contacting each other about it, getting everything set up. So hopefully he's okay. That nothing crazy is going on that prevented him from being able to get on here. But again, I'll reach out. We'll get to the bottom of it, and hopefully he can just come back in another week or so and rejoin us. And again, hopefully nothing crazy is going on in his end that's preventing him from this. You always hope nothing bad's happening. So, and again, also brand new father, new child. And if that's what prevented him from being able to join us tonight, that's completely understandable. And again, we'll just get that rebooked, and we'll let you know when that's going to happen. But please share. That's the biggest thing. We realized through this endeavor, it's been a pain in the ass to switch stuff on social media when you go from one show name to another. Pain in the ass, in fact. So please, anybody you know who's into wrestling, who's into comedy, or just wants to watch two guys just talk in tangents, don't come like us, like our stuff, like our pages, subscribe to our pages, and all that good stuff, and be a part of the new 2 count. We have a great idea for a shirt that we're going to have out soon too, eventually, that I think people,
you're going to love it.
I think
we're going to love it. Well, you might love it, but it's good. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care, and bye-bye.